Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, joined by Mike Bresnahan, James Worthy, Robert Ory. I got Allie Clifton joining here just a little bit. We'll have Trudell work in the locker room. Lakers go to 0-5 in the preseason, but the most important thing that we've been waiting for is we got to see the big three, Russ, LeBron, and AD, together for the first time here in the preseason. James, as you watched it, especially in that first quarter, visually, how did it look to you? What were some of the things you saw?
I was about to sneeze. I was always supposed to go to Rob.
Rob, go for it, Rob.
It looked pretty good. We finally wanted to see the big three. We got a chance to see him. I thought AD continued to be explosive. I thought LeBron was exceptional the way he was going through the hole and being aggressive. Russell showing that, I think he had, a good game where he was in sync with the rest of the team. So they showed a little bit of what we hope to see here after this Sacramento game. So I was happy with, they didn't win the game, but, I was happy with what I saw from those three at least.
I think if some people watch our show, they're probably going to say, why you keep saying big three when it's almost a big four? Because Carmelo Anthony, we sometimes forget about him.
Yeah.
He had 13 points, 9 limited minutes, and I think he's going to be a key factor. And he looked really good with the big three, and so I think that's going to be a key. If he's able to stay in shape and figure out his role with it, that's going to be – we're going to basically have a big four.
I agree, because I do feel like he's kind of flown under the radar. I think where he is in his career, he's a guy that's not going to play the kind of minutes that probably LeBron, AD, and Russ are, and everyone kind of has talked about the fit with Russ, but Carmelo has fit in really well. I'm glad you brought that up. What did you see from the three tonight, though?
I was watching Russ really carefully, and for the first quarter and a half, it's like, okay, some good with the bad. And then towards the end of the second quarter, almost back-to-back plays, really impressed by what he did. He hit a shot, a three-pointer from up top, and he hit one, a two-pointer, kind of in the middle of the free throw area. And then he fed Carmelo, your guy, Rob, for a nice three on the left side. Carmelo missed it, but kind of like back-to-back plays. It's like that's what Russ can do for this team. Not like he's a great three-point shooter, but it was good to see him hit one up top. But just he can mix it up so many different ways. You have to respect the mid-range, and when you start respecting that, then he can find people in the corner like he found Carmelo.
And I think you guys share the same sentiment, at least sitting here talking to you guys over the last couple weeks, as Stu. Bill asked him at the end of the game about Russ, LeBron, and AD, and he said they just need more time together. I like what I see, but it's just going to take some time, and the more they play together, the better it's going to be. And I know you agree with that for sure. And obviously, listen, turnovers, Rob, are going to happen, especially when timing is off and you're learning new players. LeBron had 6 tonight or whatever. Russ had 5. That's actually coming down for him. But just more like, you can tell those turnovers. He thinks somebody's coming to level the ball. They're not. He thinks the guy's cutting. So I think you clean that up as the season goes on.
I think, for me, I was looking at, we had a little pregame talking about Russ's turnovers, and I saw a couple of those turnovers weren't his fault. I know the one in the corner where Bazemore should have stayed in the corner, he came out, and that's not his fault. That's that's one of the things, getting to know each other, because you're used to guys, hey, if I'm driving, stay in the corner because I know where you are. And that can be adjusted. Those are simple things that would cause 2 to 3 turnovers that's coming in Russell's hand out of his pocket. But I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about them getting more time together with the guys like Bazemore, not the big three. Bazemore, Malik Monk, and the crew that's going to be the most important for them to succeed during the season.
And James, interesting, you look at his line, you see the 10 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, you feel like that's, even if he doesn't have a great night, that's just average, right? Different.
Yeah, I mean, he gets that, just rolling out of bed and going into the gym. The 10 assists. And
rebounds,
I'm sorry. The 6 assists along with the 10 rebounds, those rebounds are leading out to fast breaks too. So when he gets a rebound, he's able to start the fast break immediately. So hopefully, they'll get more into that. I also think they're going to be looking at some video, like Rob stated. Guys don't know quite where to go. They're not dropping to the level of the eyesight. So they'll look at video and they'll say, well, look, when I'm coming down the lane, this is where I'm looking. So I think they'll get some of that in as well.
I kind of look at that first quarter and I write notes after that first quarter and I look down and it's like Lakers playing fast, 32-24 after one. They're playing defense as well. So you could tell that energy to come out, Brez. A little more focus on the defense because of where it's been in the preseason. First time they're all playing together, and they were getting out in transition.
Yeah, transition was pretty good for them tonight. I love some of AD's finishes on the break in particular. Had a couple alley-oop dunks. Good to see him really active out there on offense. And he's starting to collect the defensive stuff too. A couple steals, a couple block shots. The stuff that we missed from AD last year because he missed half the regular season and pretty much half the playoff series too. So good to see him back hustling, falling into the crowd, whatever he was doing out there. I felt like he had a very complete game. He was really good in the restricted area, guys. He was unstoppable down low.
I absolutely agree with you, Brez. I mean, he came to play. He's ready for the season, and he showed us that in the games that he's played. He passes the eye test physically. I know you guys talked about that a couple weeks ago heading into the preseason. He's motivated. Rob James, Brez, I truly believe he wants to be that guy that everyone says the best two-way player in the league. He wants to be that guy.
I know he wants to be because he transformed his body. That's a true sign of a guy coming into this year determined to make a mark, determined to say, hey, you know, I can be MVP of this league, and I can be MVP on a team with Westbrook and LeBron, and that's what his whole mindset has to be. You have to go in this year and say, you know what, I'm going to show everybody's league what I can do. You know, you think Giannis Antetokounmpo did his thing, I can do exactly what he do, but more because I can shoot threes and I'm a better free throw shooter. So I'm hoping he have a year like Giannis.
You know, when you watch a guy play, big game, when he hovers around the three-point line and he's not really attacking and he's not maybe getting boards, you can tell he's maybe playing it safe. And that kind of a guy can kind of coast through the preseason. I just want to get to the finish line healthy, and I'm ready. About me? Robert Horry style. Robert Horry styles. Big Shot knows what we're talking about. That was not AD. Not in this game. Going to the hole, looking for fouls, getting to the free throw line, looking at dunks, not worrying about shoulders or anything like that. I mean, listen, we're all like, be careful, but AD's not thinking about that. He knows, as Rob said, that his body is stronger.
He knows he's one of the top 5 elite players in this game. And he wants to be the greatest. Now, he's won a championship, came in under LeBron's tutelage, but he's seen Giannis, he's seen other guys, and now it's his turn to be the greatest. It's his time. You know, I remember when, you know, Pat Riley told Magic in 1987, I think when Magic was MVP, he said, look, Kareem is still our guy, but we need you to do more. We need you to score more. And that's when Magic went absolutely berserk that year and won. Same thing with AD. Didn't quite see it in New Orleans. He's on a different platform right now. And he's seen things elevate in the last couple of years. Look, I'm in LA. I'm in the spotlight. They're predicting me to be the great player. I need to go ahead and make that happen. And I think that's the attitude, you know, that he's projecting right now. He's listening to us, talking about how great he should be and what he needs to do. Came back in great shape, stronger body, and preseason, man, he's playing like it's the playoffs.
I know we run out of ways to describe LeBron James, year 19, Brez, but he just showed again tonight, at least for me, that he put it into another gear where it just shows that he's ready for the season to start.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's October 12th or whatever it is today. It feels like it's March 13th or something to that effect. It feels like to me he really is in late season form. Saw some nice fadeaways from him, active around the basket for sure. Really, you got to steal your some of your phrases, James, the bull in the china shop. I mean, he just was knocking people over, running the court. Love to see everything I saw from LeBron tonight. Guys, he looks ready to go.
You know, Rob, you can tell when you see that highlight, and, you know, Trudell tweeted something out on Lakers Reporter there in that first quarter when he went on a little 6-0 run. 2 of the finishes in a row were aggressive through contact. Then he gets the steal, and he's out in transition. He gets the layup the other way. And then you just saw that last highlight, the step back for the shot. So he's kind of showing everything, both ends of the floor. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's definitely ready to go. He's going to the rack, and he's shooting his 3. And that's what you want to see. Like, when you watch guys like LeBron, who's playing limited minutes in the preseason, I look to see if they're taking those big, deep breaths, or if they're out of shape, or they're pulling on the shorts. But he looks like he's ready. And so, you know, that was one of the things that we talked about, James, on how you use preseason to get in shape sometimes. But you say LeBron spends a lot of time on his body. So that's the thing we don't have to worry about. He's done his dues. He's did what he needs to do to be ready for the season. And I think right now he says, you can see in his interview the other day, He's like this. I'm bored with the preseason, man. Let's get it over with. So he's in shape and he's ready to go. So I'm good right now.
This is the longest offseason he's had in a while.
Yeah, and it seems like every time they kind of try to write him off, like last year he was on his way to being, you know, one of the candidates for MVP. This year, I don't even think they had him in double-digit percentage as a candidate.
0%.
Zero. So when you do LeBron like that, he gets real quiet and he lets his play do the work. Not that he's, you know, thinks he can be MVP. I'm sure he thinks he can. He's not saying that he's predicting to be, but you just don't give me 0% and don't think I'm a candidate.
The GMs gave him no respect, right?
Yeah, something like that, he gets real quiet and comes back and proves his point.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, in fact, all three of the big three have chips on their shoulders. You know, LeBron, obviously, kind of the
big
GMs
now,
looking past him. Yeah, big four, sure, why not? We'll throw Carmelo in there, too.
Because he hasn't won a chip.
Never won it all. This could be the best chance for him this year and maybe next year. And, of course, AD, when you miss half the previous season, people start whispering, is he injury-prone again? What's going on with him? And Carmelo, hey, same thing as Russ. This is his time to finally win one. A very
9-9, AD with 20 points, 7 of 12. LeBron James, 17 on 7 of 16. Lakers shoot 41%, turn the ball over 20 times. Last preseason game, Sacramento on Thursday. Let's head back to Staples Center. Lakers head coach Frank Vogel speak with the media.
Frank, just kind of what were your impressions of the Russ LeBron 80 minutes, and did you see more of that paint attacking that you were talking about pregame?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were in there a lot. You know, we didn't get a lot out of it as much as we should. We didn't finish well. Preseason, a lot of possessions we got in there and got hit, and the refs were letting them play. But we had some good paint to great possessions as well. The first half was a lot better than the second half, but overall, a good first outing for those guys. We're just collecting sample sizes of possessions to analyze in film and get these guys on the same page, and another positive night.
Hey, Frank, over to your left. Just specifically on defense, what are the things that you're seeing most throughout these 5 games, and what do you need to clean up the most before the opener?
Yeah, we're just losing too many guys. I mean, it's a great cutting team, even with those guys out. They play with a lot of back cuts, and our scheme is rock solid in terms of not giving that up. But it's against a lot of players' instincts. So guys coming in new, it takes a little while for those guys to get used to it. And I think we saw we got beat entirely too much on back cuts tonight, but something we can clean up.
Hey, Frank, you mentioned film sessions. I'm curious, with such brilliant minds and such experienced players in those film sessions, what are they like? I mean, do those 3 guys often chime in a ton? What's it like?
Yeah, LeBron leads it. He leads the players in that regard in terms of being attentive and really pointing out things. Rondo asked a lot of questions. Russ and AD are vocal as well. But there's a lot of just a lot of back and forth. Like, hey, what do you want to do here? Do you want a screen here? Do you not want a screen here? Do you want me to open it up? The defensive coverages, are pretty straightforward. So there's a lot of the returning guys teaching the new guys, as I point them out on the film. But it's not just me in there. It is really a group session. Guys are getting on the same page. It's been positive.
Frank, the last couple seasons in new teams, Russ has been a much stronger player after the All-Star break and really seemed to gain momentum. Is your sense with this group that sort of the base that LeBron and AD have formed as the tandem is going to kind of carry the group as Russ kind of gets more ingrained?
I think that's going to be the case for all of our new guys, not just Russ. They're most familiar with our system and with each other. They will carry the load early in that regard, but we need everybody to hit the ground running. That's going to be the expectation. We're working hard to make sure that takes place, and but AD and Ron, because they've been in our system, they'll lead that.
How did you feel the AD at the 5 minutes look tonight, particularly with Russ and LeBron, and just kind of seeing how those pieces fit with smaller guys around them?
Yeah, I mean, I like what it's going to be. I didn't like our spacing in a lot of situations. We can be better. with that. Because he shifts, right? Because he's playing with another big, so he's on the perimeter a lot more. And when he goes to the 5, there's more space in the paint that we can take advantage of, not just with him, but other guys rolling to the basket. And something that we can definitely be better at. And obviously you play the game, you watch the tape. It'll be a big point of the film session tomorrow.
One preseason game remaining for the Lake Show. Thursday on the road against the Kings. Game time is 7. We start with Access Sportsnet. Lakers at 6. Much more ahead. LeBron James and the Big Three made their debut on the court tonight at Staples Center. 17 points for the King.
So I'm excited.
With authority, too, Rob.
He's not shying away from it. Not playing it safe.
He's attacking the rim.
There's one person that Robert Horry has been very nice about this preseason.
Alex Clifton?
It's not you.
Alex Clifton?
No, Anthony Davis.
It's not this guy.
It's his whole.
He wanted it so bad.
His whole Spectrum family, baby.
No.
I love all you guys.
This guy.
Let's send it back to Staples Center. Russell Westbrook is speaking to Mike in the media.
Hey, Russ, just want to get your thoughts on the first time playing with both LeBron and AD, and if certain things carried over from practice or not once you got on the game floor.
Definitely. Just there are some good spurts, but obviously it's the first game. Some good things we can take from it. Watch some film, figure out space and time and the whole 9. So can be a little encouraged by it.
Hey, Russ, especially the start of the game, you guys seem to be going real fast. Is tempo sort of the key to everything working, especially on offense?
Yeah, it's important. Our pace is going to be big for us with our size, athleticism. We got to better use it, 48 minutes.
Russ, staying on that same subject in the back here, when you guys were getting the opportunities to push it, do you recall, was it coming off stops, long defensive rebounds, or were you able to take inbound passes and still?
Sometimes it was coming off of makes, but every time it's going to be something that we got to emphasize because when we're coming downhill, myself, Braun, or even AD, it's tough to be able to stop. We just got to make the right decision, whether it's scoring or find an open guy. But when we get defenses on their heels, it's difficult to be able to stop us.
Hey, Russ, obviously it's a long season, but when you look at the big picture, what's your personal expectation of how long the process will take where you think you and the guys will be the best version of yourselves?
I don't have an answer for that one, honestly. I know that's the question everybody keep asking. Nobody has a real answer for that. We just going to play just like every other team, and then we're going to figure it out. We don't need to figure it out. October 18, 19, whenever the first game is. We got one goal in mind, that's to win the championship. So throughout the season, there are going to be ups, there are going to be downs, there are going to be adversity. As long as we're together and on the same page, that's all that matters.
Hey, Russ, how much of that process is learned from playing together versus watching film together versus, chatting in your guys' text messages? I mean, how does it all come together?
All of it's important because not just that, we be able to communicate as men, be able to understand what I don't like, what LeBron don't like, what AD don't like, and vice versa, what we all like, so that we're all comfortable being able to play our games and then, figuring the rest of the game out.
Russ, I think it was in the first half there was a pump fake 3 where the defender got in there and you kind of adjusted to. I mean, it's 3 free throws the last 3 seasons. It's not going to be this year. How big of an adjustment is that going to be with such a weapon for so many people?
Shit, not for me. Ain't too many people flying at me, so I'll be all right.
Got one today.
I know, I'm surprised. So, not much adjustment for me. But guys that actually use it all the time, it's definitely probably going to be an adjustment for them.
All right, thanks.
All right. Did you like what he had to say about, because he is getting asked this a lot, and he said they all are. Everyone's kind of looking for a timetable. Like there's a certain date, Rob, and he's like, I know we don't have an answer.
You know what they should do? They should get together and says, hey man, let's just say November 1st or October 31st, that's the day. And then they don't have to answer those questions anymore.
Yeah.
Because you can't really set a timetable because who knows? You got so many things that come into play. All these variables make it hard typically because there's no practice time. You know, there's guys aren't healthy. There's so many things that come together because it's not just about them. It's about the 5 on the court.
I always feel like Russ is going to give it to you straight, James. And something he said there I think is really important to him, at least when you see his history and teams that he's been on and what teammates say about him. He said communicate as men to each other is important. Like, he has to be able to say, here's what I like, here's what I saw. And he was saying that that's what they're working on. How important is that for guys to know each other and to be able to communicate?
It's imperative.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing before you even start to recognize how talented you are, what plays you're going to run, who's going to do what. You have to be able to accept criticism, constructive criticism, and you have to value each other's opinion. That's the only way it's going to work. So Russ has proven that, you know, he's had slow starts just about everywhere he's gone until he familiarizes himself with players. He had it down pat in Oklahoma. Houston, it took him a little while. D.C., it took him a little while. And the Lakers, because he's around, you know, new players that he hadn't played against. So I don't have any concern at all that, you know, they will be making adjustments throughout the year. It's not a realistic question. What date are you going to have it together? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
You guys are both part of some of the greatest teams ever. I'm always curious. You always say chemistry on the court doesn't mean you have to be the best of friends in the world, right? But why? How is it then on the court to have that kind of chemistry?
Yeah, people make a big deal of, oh, we're going to go to dinner. Man, you got to go to dinner. We all have our families we need to go to dinner with. But the thing is for us, on the bus, talking, on the road was the most important time.
On the planes.
Yeah, because we got together. We used to go to dinner together. Because you don't do that at home.
Yeah, of course.
Because you have your families, you have dinner. But you get together, you talk about. You know, I think the most memorable times for me was after practices, in the locker room, we would talk. Or just, you know, when you're walking out together. You know, I remember plenty of times where I'm talking to Shaq. Yo, how do you like me to throw the ball in the post? You know, you like me to cut baseline? You like me to cut over the top? There's little things like that. It's just a simple conversation like that you can have with your teammates. And they say, yo, man, you know, I like it this way. I like it that way. And it helps, you know, because a lot of times guys are afraid to talk to other guys and say, yo, man, I don't like this, but I like this.
We don't need to go to dinner with James for us to all have chemistry. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just send me a good pick so I can get open and get my shot.
More to come, Anthony
Davis. Go wherever
Davis.
you want to after the
game. Anthony Davis, game high 20 points, game 5 of preseason. More post-game reaction. Perez, with everyone healthy, you know, bottom line, Austin Reeves, tough to get into that rotation. But when there are injuries, do you trust him?
I do. You know, it's kind of funny. If you look at like his measurements at the combine, at the draft a couple months ago, nothing spectacular there. Average height, average hand, average wingspan. He's just kind of a guy. But then you put him in the game, and he makes threes. He makes strong plays. He was running the fast break tonight, getting ahead of everyone for a nice, easy layup. I'm really impressed by what I see about a guy who went undrafted, who did not have the typical college career. He transferred from Wichita State to Oklahoma. Remember, initially, he was a two-way player for the Lakers. Then after a little bit, they said, you know what? We're going to actually take that designation off and make him a full-time player on our roster. It is a non-guaranteed contract, guys. So, you know, come January, if the Lakers need to make a space, they do have the right to waive him without further financial penalty. But it's fun to watch this guy who really is not going to wow anybody with any type of physical attributes or anything like that. He just makes plays, guys.
So I have a question for you, Brez. You think he could be our Duncan Robinson like he is for Miami Heat, undrafted, but is an excellent three-point shooter? Not a great defender.
Yeah.
But he will light you up from three.
It's a great call. I know he hopes to one day get a contract like Duncan did. You know, what was it, 4 years, $90 million or whatever it was. Yeah, that's a really good analogy. It's very early, though, obviously, in his career. We're only talking just a handful of preseason games, but already we're kind of seeing what type of player this kid can be.
He's textbook savvy. I don't remember any mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm watching him play. I don't see any mistakes or anything. And he's a late bloomer. Sometimes you guys in high school, they scratch around. College, they work hard to make the team. They get to the NBA, they get a shot at it, and then all of a sudden they start to really getting better because they're fundamentally sound. They've done all the hard work. and then their talent starts to evolve a little bit. So I like this kid a lot. He's the kind of guy that you want on your team because he shows everybody else how to play the game without all this crazy Superman talent. He just does it the easy way and very efficient. I like to see what his plus minus is.
For me, everything in life is about trends. If this would have been like maybe 12 years ago, he'd have been drafted because he was a 4-year dude.
I know.
And he played really well. But now the trend is, oh, you're young? Oh, I'm going to take you because you're young and you got potential. No, back then you had to show you could play this game, and this dude can play this game. So he'd have been drafted in the first or maybe the middle, second round. But now, oh, I'm going to go with the young guy because he's young, which is a bunch of, you know what?
Mark my words.
Malarkey.
He plays for the Lakers. He's going to have a game, and he's going to be famous because of Twitter. I promise you, he's going to be a factor at some point. All right.
Hillbilly.
Time to go back to the Lakers locker room. LeBron James is speaking to Mike in the media.
Hey, LeBron, you and Russ and AD have all talked about the marathon and the 82 games of the season. Are there a couple of points that you emphasize early as you guys try to rack up wins while you're still learning how to play with each other?
That it's going to take a minute for us to become the team that we know we're going to be capable of being. It's all about, just working the process, being patient with the process, understanding that we're going to have frustrating moments. We're going to have moments where we're quite right there. We may take a step backwards, but, that's all part of, I think nothing is worth having if it's not worth working for. And I think we're going to hit some moments where we feel like we're right there, but we're not quite there yet. And that's anytime you have a new team and a whole new core of guys, it just takes a little minute. So understanding that and always just repeating that to the guys, And the best thing about us, we have this open communication that we able to, okay, let's figure it out right there on the fly, okay? How can we be better the next time? And our film sessions are going to be very key. Our shoot-around is going to be very key. And then our preseason games, what we're doing, but whatever. And even in the regular season, to start the season, there's going to be opportunities for us to learn on the fly. So just get better with that every game.
Specifically on defense, is there something for you that know all of what Frank's system is and how things were, but it's all these new guys? So what are the things there?
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to take some time. We got guys coming into a brand new system, and we're literally a couple weeks into the season. So of how our defensive schemes are, how our new offensive scheme is, it's going to take time for us to, figure that out, which we will. We got a veteran ball club. We got a lot of smart guys. So, but it definitely takes time and understanding and trusting that the system that's put in place will work for us, be beneficial for us down the road.
LeBron, you mentioned the film sessions and shoot-arounds. You've had some success as a group over the last couple of seasons doing that. Is that still doing it, meaning using those times to be more productive in terms of replacing practice time? Is that still as possible with so many new players?
No, that's going to be the number one thing for our ball club. We understand that throughout a full season, being on your feet is not always beneficial. Depending on what the schedule allows us, if we can have practice time, but get out there and just, not beating down your legs or beating down your bodies. Sometimes it's more beneficial just to be in the film room off your feet and having your mind there, having your mind fresh. Working smarter, not harder.
Hey, LeBron, there's been a lot of speculation as to whether you guys are going to go with the two big lineup or with 80 at the 5. You guys went with 80 at the 5 tonight. I know DJ didn't play, but what did you think of that group on both ends and just how it looked, kind of seeing it out there?
We have the ability to play multiple lineups, and obviously we want to get to a point where we have a starting lineup in place where you have those minutes, and then we have a rotation in place where guys know when they're coming in, where they are, and you have these minutes with these guys so you can work up that chemistry on the floor, you work up that camaraderie until what's going on the floor. You can start closing your eyes and knowing what guys are going to be because you worked up and you logged enough minutes. So, but we'll see. This is, that's up to the coaching staff, what they feel best fits our ball club, and we go from there.
Ron, you guys have all talked about how much advantage you guys have on the fast break and playing in transition. What do you think is going to motivate this team to kind of keep that pace up in games all year long?
I mean, as the games go on, you continue to build up your stamina. That's number one. I mean, listen, I train all year round, and at the end of the day, until you actually get out back on the floor and start playing against other grown men and, you know, guys hanging on you and bumping you, and then the crowd comes into it, you is in the best possible shape as possible, but you can't be where you want to be. And obviously, we want to be a quick-paced team. Russ has always been a league leader in pace. So we want to, you know, get up and down, but we want to be smart about it at the same time. We don't want to, you know, turn the ball over like we've been doing. But that's going to come with us, excuse me, us learning each other. But, you know, working your stamina, getting in better shape as the games go on, you know, that'll happen.
Hey, LeBron, you mentioned that it's going to take some time for you guys to be the team that you guys want to be. Is part of your job as the leader of the team to make sure that during those times when maybe it's not going the way you guys want, that nobody gets frustrated, that everybody stays on the same page? Is that?
Well, I mean, me as a leader, my job is for myself not to get frustrated. And if I don't get frustrated, I think it will trickle down to everyone else. I've never been a person that's okay with not being excellent, but understand things take time as well. So as long as I keep the main thing is stay even killed throughout whatever's going on with our ball club, then we'll be fine.
Last three, Dan.
Hey, LeBron. Injuries kind of opened the door for Austin to play with you guys today. What did you see from? I mean, so many of you guys have had all these pre-submits. This is a guy in his fourth game, or fifth game, I guess. What did you see from him? And then, I guess, bigger picture, he came back from that mini camp and got the deal with you guys. What did you see in that mini camp?
That he's an NBA player, and he can play at this level and play at a high level. I watched a lot of film on him when we drafted him, actually, and I knew right away that he could be an NBA player and play at this level. His size, his shot-making ability, his pick-and-roll play, his passing, high IQ kid, and he got a lot of dog in him too. So that translates to our game.
LeBron, understanding that it's a process and there are going to be things you guys are going to be trying to iron out over the next 6 months, what are the things that need to be prioritized between now and next Tuesday? Is it next Tuesday? But opening night when you guys play the Warriors again.
We just got to improve from tonight and be a better team on Tuesday, and then be a better team on Thursday, and then whenever we play after that, we want to continue to improve and try to take as least amount of steps backwards as possible throughout this 6-month period. So, if we can learn from tonight's game tomorrow when we watch film and clean up, then we play SAC on Thursday, we can get better in that game, do some things that we probably could have done better tonight, apply it to the SAC game. Then we have practice on Friday. And then whatever we do from that point on, we want to get better and better and better leading up to Tuesday night. And that's all you can ask for. You want to get better as the season go on, and we'll be fine.
Last question.
Hey, LeBron, with the theme with the process, to what extent do you look at past championship teams you've been on as any reference points for this season versus looking at this season as very unique?
Every season is different. I say that every year. Every season is different. Every challenge is different. Every year is different. And, I can't base any previous team or any previous, situation to this year. This year is about how much work we can put in, how much, desire that we have to get better and better. And my time is up.
More to come on Access. The Brow and Rondo connection was real, and it was spectacular tonight. 20 points for Davis. We'll hear from AD on the other side.
Access Sports.